Hey guys, Sports Checkdown back with another video. And today I'm going to be doing my NFL mock draft, and it's 1.0. It's the first one I'm going to have. And this one I'm not going to be projecting any trades because I find that unrealistic because how would I know what trades are going to happen? This is just kind of like a guess on if the team stayed at their current position, what would they take? And so let me just get this video started. And I don't think I got to explain myself on this first one. We're just going to take Trevor Lawrence. There's no question. No debate on this one. We're just going to draft him. And then for the second overall pick, the New York Jets, they have a dilemma whether they want to keep Sam Darnold or Zach Wilson. And I think they're going to take Zach Wilson because potential wise, he has potential to be like a Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen / Aaron Rodgers type of quarterback, while Sam Darnold's potential isn't as high. And you get like an extended 5 years with Zach Wilson on the rookie contract, which can allow you to build your team even better because you can spend more money while Sam Darnold's fifth-year option is done after this year, I think. And so you're going to want to reset the rookie wage scale. And so we're going to give them Zach Wilson. So number third overall is the San Francisco 49ers. They traded up with the Miami Dolphins. And they traded up to acquire the third overall pick. And I think they're going to take a quarterback. And this isn't what I would do, but I think they're leaning towards Mac Jones, which is way down here somewhere. Yep, there he is. And he's a good player, but he's definitely not the best quarterback in my opinion. But this is what I think the San Francisco 49ers are doing. And there's been a bunch of reports that Kyle Shanahan wants Mac Jones, while kind of the other people in the building want Trey Lance. But I think they're going to end up going with Kyle Shanahan's future or vision because he's the future of their organization. And before they traded for Jimmy Garoppolo, and even before that, they were trying to get Kirk Cousins. So you can see a blueprint of the type of quarterback Kyle Shanahan likes. Fourth overall is the Atlanta Falcons, and a lot of people have them selecting a quarterback, but I just don't see it because they restructured Matt Ryan's contract and they backloaded it, which means he's basically impossible to move at least for the next 2 years, I think. And so I just don't see them taking a quarterback. I think they're just trying to win now. And I would give them a different player, but what I think the Atlanta Falcons are going to do is they're going to draft Kyle Pitts because there's been a lot of reports they're all in on Kyle Pitts. I would focus on the defense or maybe like Penei Sewell, but this is what I think is going to happen. And so what I think is going to happen is they're going to take Kyle Pitts because of all the reports that's going on. And he's a great player. I just don't see a great fit with them because with their new head coach, they're going to be taking a offense or a run heavy scheme. And so Cincinnati Bengals, this is supposed to be the second easiest pick in the draft, except they complicated it with Joe Burrow. He's been begging for Jamar Chase, but I think they need to get Penei Sewell. But that's not what I think will happen, and this mock draft is on what I think will happen. And so Joe Burrow's been begging for Jamar Chase, and I think ultimately the Bengals are going to cave in, and Penei Sewell will still be left on the board. Next up, we have the Miami Dolphins. And so Miami has a great opportunity to get whichever player they want because they traded out of the top three and then traded back up to the top six with the Philadelphia Eagles. And so now, even if they don't believe in Tua, which I think they made it abundantly clear they're going to at least stick with Tua for this year, which is absolutely what I would do because I see a lot of potential in Tua. But I'm not here to cover Tua. I'm here to do the mock draft for the Miami Dolphins for this pick. And I think they're going to take a wide receiver to help out Tua Tagovailoa. And if you see this, they've got their pick of the bundle because they got Penei Sewell, they got Jalen Waddle, and they got Devontae Smith. I think they're all in on Devontae, but I think the next best player they should target if Devontae isn't there is Penei Sewell. The Detroit Lions are picking 7th overall, and they need to help out their young quarterback. Well, I guess not young quarterback, but their quarterback in Jared Goff. And because they need to see if he's the guy, and they've got a bunch of picks later to address other things. So I think they're going to go with Jalen Waddle to help out Jared Goff for this quarterback group, and for Jared Goff, because Jalen Waddle could really help out Jared Goff, because right now they're bare bones except for T.J. Hawkinson. They lost Marvin Jones and Kenny Golladay in free agency. So I'm going to give him Jalen Waddle, the speed demon. And the Carolina Panthers are extremely lucky if this happens to go down for them, because now they can choose between Justin Fields or Trey Lance, and without having to trade up, give up any capital. And this is assuming the Deshaun Watson trade doesn't go through. And so I know they said they're going to stick with Teddy Bridgewater, but that's what they said about Cam Newton last year. We all know how that went. And so I think they're going to take in my opinion, the second best quarterback in this whole draft, and that's Justin Fields. He's just fallen a little, and we're just going to give it to him. They cannot overthink this. And so I think Denver Broncos, they weren't going to overthink this one, but now that Trey Lance just fell into their hands, I didn't think they were going to trade up for any player, but when for a quarterback, and I thought they were going to stick with Drew Lock, but now that Trey Lance has fallen to them at number 9, and he was projected to go in the top like 6 or 5. With trades, it's not going to happen, but this is a non-trades mock draft. And so I can see a very real possibility that Trey Lance is able to fall to the Denver Broncos, and I think they're going to snag him at that. And next we have the Dallas Cowboys, and they've got a bunch of needs. Their offensive line is an issue, but I believe with most of them got injured, and so when they get their players back, I think they will end up not addressing the offensive line, at least not with their 10th overall pick. And I think they're going to take the best corner available right now. My opinion, it was Farley, but then he got hurt, and so you can't trust that anymore. And he has a history of injury issues, so we're going to go with the next best cornerback available, and a lot of people have him as the best, so we'll give him Patrick Surtain for this one. And now the New York Giants, they have a few needs, but I would say tackle, guard, and like maybe that's their needs. And this mock draft has played excellently into their hands, because right now they've got their pick of the lot, because what I've been seeing in a lot of mock drafts for the Giants is either they take Micah Parsons or Rashawn Slater, or even Elijah Vera Tucker. But none of them everyone has fallen for them, every possible option, and I just don't think Penei Sewell will fall any longer. And I don't think he'll even last this long in the actual NFL draft, because I believe the trades, when they do come up, people are going to trade up to select their guy. And there's no way Penei Sewell will last this long, but for this mock draft, he does, and the Giants are going to snag him. And now the Philadelphia Eagles, they traded down, and now they are kind of screwed, because they do not have a great wide receiver, because the top 3 wide receivers are gone and Kyle Pitts is gone. And so I don't agree that they need a quarterback. I think they're going to stick with Jalen Hurts, and anyway the top 5 quarterbacks are gone. So we're just going to give them I want to say a linebacker, and we're going to give them Micah Parsons, because they need to fix that defense. Next up, we have the Los Angeles Chargers, and this one's an easy pick. They got their franchise QB last year, and he looks great. And what's a great way to help out a franchise QB when he already has good wide receivers? Bolster up that line, and that's exactly what they're going to do with Rashawn Slater falling to him this low. And I don't think Rashawn Slater's lasting this long, but I think Rashawn Slater either goes to the Giants, or he's taken before in any realistic draft with trades, because that's going to happen. But in this case, it didn't, so we're going to take Rashawn Slater for the Chargers. Next up, we have the Minnesota Vikings, and I believe they would trade down from this area, but they're not going to trade down right now, and they need to help out their defensive. They just need to help out their defense, and so we're going to give them a edge. And the edges are not rated really high in this mock draft, or not mock draft, just this draft overall, but we're going to give them the highest rated edge in this class, which is Kwity Paye, and we'll just see what happens. The New England Patriots, they have their quarterback, at least for this season, and they're not going to trade anything. I think they're just going to try to help out their quarterback. And right now, their defense is fine because they're going to have opt outs coming back in. And I think they're going to go with the next best offensive player, which is Rashad Bateman. And he's going to go to the Patriots to help out Cam Newton along with the other weapons he has. And now the Arizona Cardinals, I think they have two really glaring issues on their team right now, or three, but the third one can be fixed, which is running back, which they can fix in the later rounds because running backs tend to be good and ready no matter where they're drafted. Just depends on their line, which Arizona has a average to above average line, and so they need a cornerback or tight end. And I think the next best tight end will go in the second round, so we're not going to address him right here. And right now, J.C. Horn is available, and I think he has the most potential in the cornerbacks. Caleb Farley is also available, but he has too many injury issues, so you can't draft him this early. So I think the Cardinals are going to go with J.C. Horn. The Las Vegas Raiders are on the clock, and they need to get themselves a really good defensive player. And I'm going to give them Jason Oweha. I think that's how you say his name. They need someone with high potential who can get after the quarterback, and Jason has the most potential along with Kwity Paye. They're like extreme athletes. Just don't know if they can actually perform yet. We haven't seen them put it to paper yet. But we're going to give them Jason Oweha. The next up is the Miami Dolphins, and in realistic way, I would trade down, but I don't think they're going to trade down. And this time, they already helped out. They already got their wide receiver in Devontae Smith, and so this time I'm going to help Tua Tagovailoa in another way, and that's fix the line. And I'm going to give them Elijah Vera Tucker, who I think is better, but I guess he's not even on here. Wow, he's ranked really low. But a lot of people have him as a third best player, like tackle, in this draft, and I agree with that. And I'm going to give him Elijah Vera Tucker. I don't know why he's rated so low on PFF, but that's just how it is. The Washington football team, I believe they're going to take someone to help out Taylor Heineke or what do you call him? Ryan Fitzpatrick, and they're just going to help out their line because their line isn't great right now, and they have a great defense. So Christian Barmore is going to have to wait a little longer, and we're going to give him Christian Darrisaw. Okay, so the Chicago Bears are kind of interesting. They don't have anything great going on, so like you could go anywhere, and it would like fill a need. I would focus more on. Yeah, they do need a quarterback, and I guess I'd give them Elijah Moore because that's the next best wide receiver available. I'm not really happy with this pick. Sorry, Bears fans, for this mock draft. I just can't find someone who I love, so I'm just gonna put Elijah Moore here to you guys. The Indianapolis Colts are next, and they need a tackle or wide receiver, but there's no great wide receivers available. And so I'm going to be honest, I don't really know too much about what the Colts needs are, so I'm just going to give them Walker Little to help out their offensive line even more. He's a good tackle, not great, but they can develop him, and he doesn't have to be spectacular with the offensive line they already have. So we'll just give them that. Tennessee Titans need a lot of things, but most importantly, I think they need a good defensive team, and so they were missing a lot of pass rushes, and they did lose a few cornerbacks. I think their cornerbacks could be better if they had better help in the defense and defensive line, and we're going to give them Christian Barmore, who's going to fall to 22. And then the Jets have this pick from Seattle, and they have their pick of a lot right here. They've got pretty good options, and I think I'm going to give them Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah because he's a great linebacker. No mistake about it. Second best linebacker after Micah Parsons. This is a great pick for the Jets. The Pittsburgh Steelers, they could use a quarterback, but they're sticking with Ben, and there's no great quarterback available. And so they did lose a few cornerbacks, so the guards aren't spectacular right now. And so I don't expect them to do that. And I think this is as far as Caleb Farley will fall. So we're just going to give him Caleb Farley. The next up we have is the Jacksonville Jaguars from Jalen Ramsey trade. And they could use anything, and they've already addressed their quarterback issue. They need a tight end, tackle, and safety. We're going to give them the best safety in the draft right now, and that's Trayvon Moehrig, and we're going to draft him for them. Cleveland Browns are next, and they don't have a lot of problems, in fact, actually. The defense is what we're going to look to fix, and I would have loved Caleb Farley here, but I guess he's not available. So we're going to have to go with Azeez Ojulari to help out the defensive line, just bolster that up, and so they'll be better because they've already addressed their safety issue with the Rams safety. So we're just going to give them Azeez Ojulari to bolster up that defense. Next up, we have the Baltimore Ravens, and they could use a wide receiver, and I see Terrace Marshall as a really high potential player, so we're going to give him, he's number 26 ranked, and the Baltimore Ravens are 27, so it's not a reach, and so we're going to give him Terrace Marshall. The New Orleans Saints have a few needs, and wide receiver, they'll be fine. I would have given them a better linebacker, but there isn't a great linebacker available right now. So we're going to give them Greg Newsome, especially because Marshawn Lattimore was arrested. So we don't know the situation on that. The Green Bay Packers, they could use some weapons. They could use a little bit of help from anywhere. But there isn't like their needs. They don't have there isn't like a great player for their needs available right now. So I think I'm gonna give them a high potential player in Jalen Phillips. I think he's gonna be great if he can stay healthy. That's the main issue with him. For the Buffalo Bills, now I think I know what I want to do with the Buffalo Bills. I want to give them Gregory Rousseau just to help them out on the defense because there isn't, or maybe. Yeah, no, I'm gonna give him. I'm gonna give him Gregory Rousseau. I think he's fallen too far as it is. Okay, now we have the Kansas City Chiefs, and they need a tackle. And what better than the tackle from Oklahoma State? We'll give them Tevin Jenkins. Easy pick for me right there. And then now we have the. I don't say why. Why do they have a need as quarterback? I don't understand that. So they're basically one of the teams that's just picking for depth, not even for need anymore, because I think they fixed everything. And at this point, they can just go with the best available, but they have great tackles. And so the only thing I can see them maybe pursuing is, wow, they're the best players. This one's a little hard. I guess I don't love the pick, but I guess I'll give him Asante Samuel because you can never have too many great corners. And that concludes my mock draft. Tell me what you guys think about it. What would you guys change differently? Don't forget to like and subscribe to the video, and it helps a ton, guys. Thank you for watching, and have a great